Good morning, everybody. How the hell are you this lovely Saturday morning? Hope you all had a fantastic Halloween last night. Got yourself, plenty of Halloween candy, spooks and scares and all that. Watched a fun, scary movie and all that. Hope it was just genuinely a good time. I know I had a very nice evening. Just hung out with some friends. Had some snacks, watched a scary movie. By scary movie, I actually watched Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time ever. So that was fun. So I finally understand less, actually. I'll be honest, I understand less having watched Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's definitely a confusing ass show to watch, but it was fun. I see Miss XD, Jimmy, and Chainsaw all in chat. Hope you're just having a good time. Feeling good with your full-size pack of Skittles. Dino's here too. Good morning, Dino. Doing the time warp again. Gonna do the time warp again for the first time. It's good. Miss XD saying, got a lot of stares during Halloween. Not because I'm not scary. The fact that I dressed as Agnes Tachyon while watching my niece. Okay, I'll do it. So would you say you were horsing around? I think I'm funny. That's what matters. You threw a lot of eggs. Why are you throwing eggs? No. That's a terrible... Don't go prankering. You can't... No, that's bad. Don't be a pranky person. That's less cool. You get up to hijinks as long as you're not harming or being harmful about your hijinks. Go do that. Jimmy was a plague doctor. Zombies in my neighborhood will revive corpses that buried after harvest. Oh, that'll do it. Yum eggs. I don't think I'd want an egg that was off the side of a house. Just egg mailboxes. As long as it's the outside, you're not, trashing people's mail. I guess fair. That's reasonable enough. But hey, I know what we're all really here for. Fucking... I need to clean up my Elgato. We are here for Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're planning on doing the last two parts of the last case of the first game. So, there's last one or two parts of the last case of this game. Here you see the super perjury pros get the death sentence. Oh yeah, they're getting put in jail for super crimes. But that's the thing. They didn't kill Windibank. We know who did. We know it was Egbert Benedict. It'll be fun to find out his real name and figure out what's actually going on with him. It's Dr. Eggman. Don't think he's a doctor, though. So a bunch of people dressed as the man in yellow hat from Curious George and 4 Bananas arguing with this guys because they stole their flow. I guarantee those 8 guys were all actually hanging out together, which makes it even funnier. What a bunch. What a silly bunch. Banana jokes. Anyway, let's just fire off right into it. Let's go solve a murder, everybody. Go to the dogs at the computer station. Yeah. It's a dog at the computer station who controls everything all at once. Yeah, just a bunch of bananas there. Alright. Now we're in recess. Huh, Gina, how are you holding up? Ellipses is how she's holding up. Starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard? The likes of me. What? Well, you saw it. That picture. What picture? Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. Just realized something. McGilda basically made ancient British DL6, but failed because he got killed before he could go on vacation. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it just happens. It's hopeless. It's hopeless. Anyone who's gonna see that thing anyone who sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got avid doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. Of course I can. Humph. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Reno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still. We'd really like to hear it from you. Alright then. Finally! She's finally gonna talk to us! She's here! She's opening up to us! Hey, Dr. Liam. Sorry to hear that you have a hangover and a half, but if you had as long as you had a good night last night. Sometimes you just gotta get a little bit of consequence for having a good time. A little consequence. If you're having too much of a good time and it turns to a bad time for someone else, that's not great. I'm just glad you're feeling better. Drink coffee. No, the true hangover cure is 2 big glasses of water and 2 extra strength Tylenol right before you go to bed after drinking a whole bunch. Because then that just helps move and flush everything out, and you'll be less hungover in the morning. Known as the grabber from the black phone. Yeah, I know what the black phone is, but I'm not surprised that no one's dressing from it. Miss XD, what is your good news? You drink water, it's more hydrating. Dino, you're right. Dino, it's like you're finally listening to Aussie. You're drinking water. Good, thank you. Can I have the free pulls for support cards? It rounds up to 100 pulls. Yeah, it's 100 pulls, and that means it's 100 clovers, because you get clovers off that from Uma. Yeah. Also, I got a 3-star pull off of one of my free 1-horse pulls. It was another Taiki shuttle. I've pulled 3 now. I have a 4-star Taiki shuttle. The Power Rice Shower? Yeah, the Power Shower. Good special week. Yo, Wazzy got Meisho Doto, which I'm actually very jealous of. No, the only 3-star I got was another Taiki shuttle, which I'm okay with because now I have a 4-star. She's good. Anyway, this game. All right then. We're finally going to hear the story. Gina, tell us a tale. It was after we had that dinner tonight, that dinner together at your place. Right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. And Jimmy getting a full arc ninja. Nice. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2-to-1, to Winterbank's place. I had to know. Except for a Uni Cup, it's the best way to get A ranks. Nice. I'm more worried about getting parents, honestly. If I was the story was there or not, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Or that was me. Sorry, that was Ryunosuke. Yeah, see, that was there. I don't know what it's about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Shomes don't like. Something what you don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking in lug with Winterbank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Winterbank's. I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was going to kick off, did I? That's true. She was there for her own personal reasons, but... I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as a light in there. So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? Ah! I nearly thought I did. Next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like... I don't know what. To be fair, it's to get accused of murder for the stupidest reasons. Yeah, like Larry Butts, every time he ever gets accused of anything. Oh, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets were intended for armed robbery. Alright, Faye got accused 3 times, yeah. Butts got accused 2 or 3 times. Faye got it 3 times. Maya specifically, I think Pearl got it once too. The Mantle script. How you got it here? The Shelms leave a load of papers with you. A story. I beg your pardon? That under the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What do I do with it anyway? I just want to see it's here, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if someone's really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go. Oh, very well then. Okay, when it makes us, yeah, I'll let a pickpocket in there. To be fair, like, she's actually being really sincere here. Like, genuinely, I think this is... Gina's not known for being sincere, but this is her genuinely being like, this is literally all I'm here for. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you? So then the Oak Hove unlocked the storeroom door, and we both went inside. And it was there, alright. The mental script. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check that for me, Ginny. Anyway, then there was a bit of kick-up out in the main meat of the shop. The Skulking Brothers arriving on the scene. The Skulking Brothers arriving on the scene. Yes. You need to pay attention to the names. Doy. Got Ginny grab the gun before he pointed at himself. Yeah, because he would have killed himself. What was that noise? Someone's breaking in. Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. Can I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well, I'll come with you, Anne. Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances. And with that, he took a gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. Yeah, what is it with her getting stuck in locked places, just hearing... She only gets a hear on things. Sounds like I've gotten a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, you see? Imagine you skulking, breaking in, screaming, "It's a me, Mario!" I know, they're more of a Wario and Waluigi pair. So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself when... Bang, bang. 2 shots. A couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like. Because you thought whoever shot Mr. Winterbank might come for you. Yeah, so I went and grabbed the old cove's gun. Figured I'd put up a fight at least. When I got a better look at him, I knew. Winterbank was a goner. Oh, look at that. Look at that easy ban. Be gone. Be gone, bot. I'm short enough at it. Mario's the shortest among the 4 talents. That is true, he is the... Warrior's only a little bit taller, though. I felt foggy in my head all of a sudden. Gone to dizzy. Makes sense. And after that, I don't remember nothing. That must be when you passed out, Gina. Yep. If I hadn't done what I done, the Cove might still be alive. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All I said was, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. Except, I don't think you're lying. It'll be alright, Ginny, don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit through the mill. Yeah. Cove, what was there in the afternoon? That Eggert Benedict. Still remember how he looked at me, like I was nothing. He was there that night. We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty. You what? You what? This time, someone get an omnibus and some gasoline. We're not killing people yet. No, we're not killing anyone, Miss XD. We're lawyers. We don't kill. That's cops' jobs. You can leave it all in Reno's capable hands now, Ginny. Okay. Mr. Naruto. Yes? How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGill did. You told your old pack of lies. And you got the bog trotter off with him. Even though he was a killer. Prosecutor probably killed someone burning omnibus. Yeah, but we're defenders. We defend. You didn't miss too much. You just missed, I think, Gina's entire backstory of what happened in this entire case. But don't worry. Essentially, what it is she never pulled the trigger once. Is the best way to put it. No, I could never forget that. Oh, I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what. But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know. I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial. But you were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it. Oh, you know. Yeah, oh, by the way, Iris, the person who was killed was your dad. Wait, what? Oh, never mind. Because we got accused twice back to back. Once was for killing our best friend. The second time was for killing our best friend. The first time was for killing Iris's dad. Not that she knows that. She thinks her dad's alive and well in Japan. We haven't told her yet. I don't know when we're going to tell her, but we have to tell her. There was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend. And his flowing headband. Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious. Also, Dr. Lim, I see what you're doing. Gina reached for a gun that she just couldn't find because Batman stole it and he shot it and he missed. Did Sherlock forgot to deflect it with his fist? It wasn't her gun. It was Windibank's gun. She reached for Windibank's gun that she couldn't find because Windibank took it back. She was in the storeroom the entire time. She didn't actually even see the crime occur. She's literally just she's an earshot witness to the entire thing. He's alright, but how he died is hilarious too. Oh yeah, he died in an incredibly dumb way. He died from being pushed over and fell bad on his neck and just instantly died. Which, that's the thing. Humans are weirdly super durable and extremely fragile at the same time. In the sense that, like, either of those is an entirely that's just, people do that. People just die super easy, which is, yeah, it's morbid as fuck, but it's true. It's sad. That's sometimes just the simplest little thing can kill someone. That's why I always just be careful. It's be super careful with yourself, and just always be kind. You never know. It's whether you never know what your last moment is going to be. So you gotta continue to be kind, continue to be good. Cats make a murder look like a suicide. Yep, they can do that. That he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Believe in the me that believes in you. Gurren Lagann always comes back to Gurren Lagann. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first. What are you saying? I promise you, Gina. No matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down. Aww. Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar, you're not like me, Gilded. I know that. Eh? What? That's right. You're our friend, Ginny. Iris. We know you better than you think. We've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. Yeah, believe in the voices in my head that believe in me. I mean, yes, technically, yes. Yes. You know what guilty? We're not going to get. Hey, he's scummy. We're not going to bring race into this. We've met some scummy non-Irishmen as well. Some scummy Brits. Actually, it's been all. We haven't met any scummy Japanese people in this yet. We've only met scummy Brits in this game. Yes, that's really all we need to know. Yeah, you just said there's a bunch of scummy United Kingdomers. Exactly. Mr. Naoto, I... Oh, Gina. Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Please head into the courtroom immediately. Fair, it's old-timey England. Yeah. Found a life hack to self-comfort? Oh, what's that? Please tell me it's something that's legal and also not terrible. Yes, of course, thank you. We're going back to court. Let's go fight. I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time, so I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another, putting all their faith in you. Jimmy, what did you do? Is that a Bobby without a mustache? Yeah, Bobby's gonna have no mustache. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Suzato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too, partner. What do you do, Jim? What do you do, Jimbo? As we go back to court at 1:41 p.m. Everything in life is bad. Remember you didn't have the life of Christopher Titus? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. New Fortnite Night Live event, Kang and Kodos from The Simpsons tried sleeping with a demon kraken. That's... Oh, it's Fortnite. Okay. I forgot Simpsons characters were in there, but that tracks. But really, the only characters I don't think we'll ever see in there is fucking Disney at this point. Like Disney classics. Lord Van Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communications station where the man works immediately, my lord. Yeah, but Officer's Permanent Soundwave. Nice! Yeah, you gotta save up that cash. You never know. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. Yeah, I'm keeping the Wesker voice for him. No, wrong there. We got classic villains of Cruella, DeVille, Captain Hook, and Maleficent. Okay, they have villains. Because what I'm saying is you'll never have Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald will never touch Fortnite. And that's because Disney would never allow Mickey to hold a gun and shoot and be shot. I see. Now let's turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's priestess of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood of the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake. Fair, Donald technically had a gun. So did Goofy. I mean, yes, but... My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Eggert Benedict. I didn't expect to cross paths with him again so soon. And certainly not like this. Look at this array of JoJo villains and a cop. Donald having World War II flashbacks in Tomato Town. God. Eggs can finish the Sulkin Brothers pros like the Guinea Force. He's probably gonna hate them too. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communications Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about. You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume. Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation, indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know.
I know who the murderer was. It was definitely Ashley Graydon. Which is like the first name, one of the few names in here which is not a pun of something, I don't think. I know Ash Gray. His name is Ash Gray. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. So yeah, he has a he absolutely has a pun name. It's a very subtle pun name. You respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord, gladly. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting that I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation, even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence.
Oh, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Galileo. Okay, back to the actual game. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today.
By golly!
How long am I expected to be detained here?
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I should be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least.
If fair, one of them is Russian. That's true. It's five Brits and a Russian. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination.
So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict.
Where's it, Mr. Graydon?
My apologies. You are?
Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met.
If you say so. Ashley Graydon. Enchanté.
So. Ah. He threw his hat. That's a nice hat. This is my hat now. You look like a JoJo villain. You totally killed him. I mean, he looks like He looks like bootleg REO Speedwagon is what he looks like. Which is sad because Speedwagon is good.
I trust we can conclude this quickly.
Ugh, but I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do. He's a Zeppeli? Yeah, he does have that. He has the hat to be a Zeppeli or to be Speedwagon. He killed Speedwagon and stole his hat. That son of a bitch. Not Robert E.O. Speedwagon. Accusation. Alright. I'm pressing everything. Fuck this guy. I'm wasting his time. Yes, we even met in the very pawnbroker where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. Oh. It was Mr. Egbert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what made you... The witness is here to testify about events that took place that night. He's under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions. He should be. He absolutely should be. He not killed the best waifu. Yeah, Speedwagon is best waifu. You can't be serious.
Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question.
So he's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort to not give anything away. This could be tricky. Alright. Seriously suggesting a clue would be such to break into place on the night of murder?
Hold it!
I mean, yes.
Have you seen these two men before? This pair? No, I don't associate with criminals.
Said by a man who introduced himself as Egbert Benedict.
I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in the black.
This is a farce. Jojo Pose. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in a British court anyway? Well, needless to say.
You're also in black. Yeah, Prosecutor Van Zeeks, you're also in black. Okay. So he's racist too. Everyone's racist. It's Britain. Everyone's at least a little. Most people are better these days, but like, it still happens. Fun fact, it never changed. Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir?
That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions.
You're able to prove that?
Objection!
Yeah, prove it.
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend. For you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion.
He's right. He is absolutely right. Innocent until proven guilty.
You will fulfill that obligation before putting in any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
A silent victory wiggle. Thanks. A silent Georgia pose. My source? I made it the fuck up.
Even if certain parties here present was found at the scene.
Also, hey, Manfred. Hello. Hi, Tommy Vercetti looking man. What, me or him? I'm not that Vercetti looking, am I? I mean, don't get me wrong, Tommy Vercetti is a great main character. Me? Oh, me! Well, damn. I won't say no to that assertion. Tommy Vercetti's pretty great. Let's be real.
Hold it!
Weird that Tommy Vercetti's helping a lawyer out, though. Not really his thing. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such.
But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I?
Is the shirt you have on? Oh, maybe. I could kind of see that. I wish I actually had that shirt in real life. That'd be kind of cool.
How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants.
Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate different blood samples by...
Spare me the science lesson.
Why is there a pit bull in here? I don't know. Yeah, he's a very jowly dude. Yeah, let's do the blood test. Let's find out what everyone's blood is.
Who is this Sholmes character anyway?
Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a renowned detective. he's a renowned detective. If it's green, he's guilty.
So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say? Now we're in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Oh yeah, I'll pursue Waluigi's fucking...
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
Me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
What have I to do with this? How many times I gotta tell you?
Yes, I know. You're not Big Bruv Sulky. God damn it. Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Call blimey, Governor. You what? You what?
Graydon looks like Irwin from Attack on Titan. He kind of does, actually. He definitely does. To be fair, would you call him a great detective just taking someone's window like Spider-Man? He's pretty great at things. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's great at the best at detecting. He looks like he chimney sweeps houses. He might. It's not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind. Would you care to share that thought with the court?
Hey, me thoughts? I don't have none of them. Must have been him. You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing. Honest, Gov, nothing. I was just thinking. If he wears his arm around like that much more, he'll open up the wound again, that's all.
What wound?
Well, he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. Ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him, and...
Thank you. Oh, L's bells. You big dumb bitch. Why did you... You just completely outed him. Thanks, Nash. Thanks, listen here, Nashville, Tennessee. Tells you the bail will whack your pee-pee. Oh, you're gonna get your ass beat, Nash. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. You know, the part which you're clutching right now. Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand is as if in pain. No, I refuse. He's just like, no, I don't wanna. What? You've shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy. Sorry, he's British. Privacy. The question is, the bullet's... No, the bullet's in the wall. We know the bullet's not in him. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroker where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. Claim to have nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winnebank's pawnbrokery? My lord, defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. Okay, now how can I... Bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with pawnbroker establishment where the man was killed. I'm very sure I have proof. Small box. I feel like... what do I have that shows? I think this is it. I'm gonna quickly pause. I think it's gotta be the music box disc. When that's it, I'm gonna make a fast dash to the fridge and to grab the last plate of blueberry cheesecake for a stream snack. Ooh, good call. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna save. Alright. I'm pretty sure.
Objection!
Yep, it was the music disc. Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn in Mr. Winnebank's shop.
is redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I've reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. May have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Oh, yes. Resulting from abrasion of the thumb, perhaps. Yeah. That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the third person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. Yes. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon. Huh. You refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with a smear of blood on this disc. Oh. Well. It would seem that I underestimated you. For Skulking Brothers, theft, accomplice to a murder, perjury, while Graydon's theft, murder, perjury. Yep. And also public nuisancery, because he got the cops called by trying to steal shit that didn't belong to him. What is the meaning of this? So you admit it now. You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant. Yeah, we know you did it, you schmuck. Order! Well, Mr. Graydon? At attempted theft. Yeah. It would appear there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item you own out of pawn? What? It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing to do whatsoever with the pawnbroker's murder. It definitely super duper does. Like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario 64. Super, that much super is part of this. There's a note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say, the famous London philanthropist, who Miss XD arsoned in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted from a distinctly messy murder. Did turn out another body in Van Zieg's list. Yes, my lord, the one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon! Are you saying that Mr. McGilded and yourself were acquainted? Yes, that's correct. I mean, I've been trying to recover that crime, so I'm free. To be fair, it allegedly happened a century ago. You just time traveled out of it. Ordar! Well, certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again. Colonel Regina told us this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it? And in all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hands on McGilded's disc for some reason. Definitely glad I read that as disc. Also, hey, Lava King, how's it going? Hope you're having a good morning and that you had a good Halloween. Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please. The disc.
Hold it!
Gotta press this. Gonna press it. I saw the Chainsaw Man movie. Nice. I've heard it's really good. That's something I'm probably gonna try procure sooner than later so that I can watch it because it sounds very, very good. Just as Marty McFly. Nice. Time traveling to do crime is fun. I went time to kill a few people myself. How do you think I got the blood from my costume yesterday? You can use fake blood, Dr. Liam. Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. Real blood works better. Ethically source your blood, please. I guess. Like, why would you need real blood, honestly? Fake blood does the job, though. Fake blood does the job. It's way cheaper and much more ethical to get. It's just corn syrup. Got time travel later today. Chased myself last Thursday with a time machine. I feel like this is a loop. Yeah, buy pig's blood from a deli. Yeah, that works. That does the job too, but stanks to high heaven. So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your overcoat? Obviously, and in my haste, I clean forgot that the music box disc was in its pocket. Wait, did he say purse? Yeah, like a little coin purse. I have a coin purse. It's shaped like a chocobo head. It has all my yen, my extra Japanese yen in it, so that when I go back to Japan, I have pocket change prepped. Is it mad because Wowsy last stream, I was attacked by some guy revealed to be me from the future, so I have to go attack myself in the past. So you have to finish the loop, otherwise it'll create a paradox. Okay, that's the only acceptable paradox allowed, is one to prevent a worse paradox. And yet, there's a note on it that reads, "For McGilded." I'm a collector of rare and unusual music box music. I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city, and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. So the disc in question is a pre-production sample. I promised to let Mr. McGilded hear it. But then you forgot it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn. Also, thank you for the hello and the hydrate. I will.
Hey Prolix, tell us about Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Thank you for the nostalgia time on probably one of my favorite games in the entire Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. That is number 7. Yakuza Like a Dragon is number 7. The first one with Ichiban Kasuga, the hero of Yokohama. That is, and honestly, it's funny because that game started out as an April Fool's joke. It was an April Fool's joke to make a turn-based RPG in the Yakuza series. And no, he started in 7. Because Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, was the last one with Kiryu as the main character. 7 is Ichiban Kasuga's first. Then 8 is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is Ichiban's second game. Or second mainline game. Because they also have in Japan, there's a card battle game. But yeah. Oh, Kiryu appeared in Uwe Musume as Mihono Burma's trainer, even as Kiryu's voice actor too. Yeah, Takaya Kuroda. He's just a very good voice actor. Anyway, first turn-based RPG in the Yakuza series, absolutely fantastic. It's so good. It's well put together. It's basic in its mechanics, but still deep enough that there's still a good amount of strategy to it. It's reasonably difficult. There's only one really big difficulty curve, and that's at the final dungeon. Or no, there's one difficulty curve in a later chapter, but they give you a training dungeon immediately before that fight. So they know, oh yeah, we know this fight's tough. Here's a place where you can go train up. So they're prepared. So they're good at prepping you for the difficulty. The characters are lovable. The stories are great. The side stories are great. It is it is my second favorite recommendation for if you want to get into the Yakuza series. My first recommendation is Yakuza Kiwami, it's top 3. Yakuza Kiwami, then Yakuza 0, then Yakuza 7, or Like a Dragon. Those are the best places to really get into the series first. Yakuza Kiwami being the best one because it's just the start of Kiryu, and you go 1, then 0, and then 2 through the rest, or you go 7, then 1, then 0, then through the rest, is my recommendation for how to get into the Yakuza series. So it is one of the best kickoff points of the series, because it's a soft reset of the story, because you have the new protagonist. But the problem is that it also has a lot of callbacks to older parts of the series. Infinite Wealth has even more callbacks to the early parts of the series, because it's the attempt to do a true farewell to Kiryu in 8. Anyway, I could go on forever about the Yakuza series. I love those games. But yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is one of my favorite newer RPGs to come out. Not my favorite, but it's up there. All right, back to the story.
Yes, exactly. Gina didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she?
No, because McGilda had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh dear, this is complicated, isn't it?
And getting into Yakuza because of Majima is a totally legitimate reason. Especially because the original VA is, honestly, he's the sort of guy, he's like, yeah, he voice acts a tough game, but he's a very sweet guy. Yeah, let's leave that alone for the time being. Jim Shinji was stolen from me by the accused of filthy kettling on the tape in question.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press that. So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag?
That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking in the insalubrious areas, her kind of free.
Protection!
Miss Lestrade did no such thing.
Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl's a regular offender.
You came to the pawnbroker that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You're looking for her. That's what brought you to Windibanks. Get your hands on Mr. McGill's disc.
My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense.
Nonsense? I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecturing in this way. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. You know what, that... fine, fair.
Now I'll continue with my testimony for what possible use it can be.
Precinct wants to shop to redeem our... Okay. Better have good music at the time people wanted it. Probably. Had you ever been to Windibanks before?
Only once, for the purpose of pawning something. But like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments.
So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her. Is that correct? What's your favorite Disney Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts? Oh, fuck, I don't remember. Honestly, my favorite is the Orin Keyblade from 2. Is my favorite. But I don't know about the Disney ones. It's been so long since I played Kingdom Hearts, to be honest.
Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course. Such is the art of the pick purse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbrokery at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place.
He can say what he likes, because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. Okay, so that's my hint to not bother with 3. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by police. Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it?
That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGill as evidence.
Well, gotta pursue that. Excuse me, Inspector. Something wrong, Inspector? Oh, well, what do you mean? Last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way. Eh? No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone. Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilded's possessions? I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. You know what's 2 Pirates Keyblade? Oh, that's a good one. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. I had nothing to do with it. What are you talking about? A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life, yet he had a dark side too. I mean, he was mostly dark side. Like, the instant I saw him, I'm like, this guy's pretty evil. Like, Megilda was a pretty evil little bastard. Oh, where are you going with this, Fancheeks? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. Oh, we're getting him mad. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first. So you admit it. What's this all about? All this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here. There's conspiracies! Conspiracies on conspiracies. Will it appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal? Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony.
Gladly, my lord.
Well, that was worth pursuing. I'm gonna press. You had absolutely no reason. Perhaps you've seen something of value among the forfeited items?
No, not at all.
Oh.
A value report was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article in the shops was common or garden bric-a-brac.
In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Mr. McGilded's disc.
Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover the disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. There was no more in the shop that night than I. As I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in.
So there was nothing in Mr. McGilded's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wonder if that's really true. No, there was more than one. There's more than one thing in there. There's a small box.
Something else, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble.
I have evidence. I thought about it. McGilded slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windibanks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left behind by McGilded as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But Griggs has been being very strange about all this.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony. There's more than one. That's for the coat.
Objection.
There's a second thing that was put in there. This disc was deposited at Windibanks on Magnus McGilded's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection.
Conjecture again. And in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbrokery again that night.
Objection.
Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true.
What?
Mr. McGilded had another article in pawn at Windibanks, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves.
Ah.
There were two articles belonging to Mr. McGilded in Windibanks pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your two accomplices, the Skulkin brothers.
Ah.
This is the second ticket, is it?
What had the man deposited?
Hello, Grey Graves. How's it going? Happy All Saints Day. Happy day after Halloween. I hope you had a wonderful time yesterday. You had a good time. And you're feeling rested and relaxed after all that. We are here, solving crimes. The article description reads, one small box. Rather vague description, it seems to me.
Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing?
Happy chocolate wasted day? Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking fucked up on chocolate. It's gonna be great.
Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft.
I mean, that is a good point, but someone else could buy it. Indeed. Riddis makes a solid argument.
So that means, for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed a small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord Van Zeeks?
I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Winterbeck's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it.
What? Good gracious.
Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please.
Yes, sir.
What prints?
These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras.
Ah, are these red-handed recorders again? As previously explained using this plan of the shop layout. The victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Winterbeck received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed for sale once forfeited.
According to the information on this ticket, McGilda's small box had been forfeited already, 2 days before the incident, at 9 p.m. on 13th April to be precise, which means it would have been on the shelves of forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 p.m. on the 15th of April. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. The defense attorney is definitely being paid off by the suspect. I'm calling it here. What, me? You think I'm being paid off? By a pickpocket? No, that was the McGilda case, where he was trying to pay me off. Then here we have another print. This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident. I see, so we have 2 pictures to compare. Oh, the blue hair guy? You mean the prosecutor? I must say, placing them side by side leaves me cold. I can't do the cross-eyed thing. There's probably a difference. Dear me, that's starting to make my head ache. Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we consider theft as one possible motive in this case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared these 2 prints thoroughly, Inspector? Yes, sir. We counted every single item in each of these 2 photographic prints. I'm just going through and I'm like my eyes, I'm trying to see if there's any different issues, but I'm not seeing it immediately. Wait, no, there's a difference. One box was shifted. The little box on the bottom right shelf right beside the stereoscope, it got shifted from left to right, so it got moved. Yours conclusion is exactly the same number as present both. That's true. Same number. One's position different. At least one.
In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery on the night in question, and my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy.
Arg! I just got arged. I don't believe it.
If I had just shown that he'd stolen McGilda's pawned box, I might have been able to break him down at last. You know what, Runo? I've been thinking. I wonder if these 2 photographs really are exactly the same.
They're not. I've already proven it. Can we see my mouse on the screen when I do this? No, I can't. It's not capturing cursor. Wait, is it now? Yeah, it is. No! Go back to the pictures. What? So, counsel, in light of the evidence before prosecution, what is your position? Seems that, in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Set up emoting. You're not in Fortnite yet. I don't see him getting in Fortnite. I don't see them putting anything Phoenix right in there, honestly. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion? I don't. I don't know. Could there be a hidden discrepancy in this photographic print somewhere? There is. I see it. I'm gonna use a piece of evidence. I'm gonna use the Sarah. Before I give my answer, my lord, I'd like to try something, if I may. Try something? What do you mean, counsel? Is the defense attorney just trying to keep the suspect out of prison? I mean, I don't know which blue-haired guy you're talking about, because I'm the defense attorney. Ryunosuke, guy on the screen here. That's the defense attorney. And yes, I'm trying to keep Gina Lestrade out of prison. Or death. You use a piece of evidence to identify the discrepancy. I'm not entirely sure I follow. Which piece of evidence do you intend to use to help you identify the discrepancy between the two prints? I intend to use my handy-dandy stereoscope. I'd like to use this device, my lord, to view the two prints stereoscopically. Ooh! Yes, you caught the bug at last. You can't resist, can you? You got the cross-eye compulsion. Juror number 3. What a surprise.
Come on, Runo. Let's put the pictures in place and see what this wonderful contraption shows us. There we go. Now look through the eyepiece.
Found it. See? I wasn't sure at first, but there's a clear discrepancy between these two prints. What? You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak.
Take that!
Take that! Point. Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there's one minor discrepancy between them. What? When you view the two pictures stereoscopically, a small box is the issue. A single area stands out as being different. Location of this small box. Okay. Let me... Wait. Unbelievable! This is a good thumbnail. This is right here. Just, now let me look at these pictures. Let me use my peepers. By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary. What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilda's small box was indeed not stolen from Windibanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Mr. Gilda is in fact... Yes, the very same small box I just identified those photographic prints. Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. So nothing was stolen. Which means quite simply that nothing has changed. That may be true, but... Alright, McGilda's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things? Changes everything. It was what's in the box. To quote Brad Pitt in Seven, what's in the box? I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be? The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting? Yeah, Graydon knows I'm onto something. He gets it. I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. The vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves of Windibanks as we speak. That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial. The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zeeks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once, obtain the small box in question, and bring it back here for further examination. Yeah! MacGuffin in the box, but it was made so well made he tried to preserve it. Yeah, like this is definitely that's a MacGuffin. I knew the small box would come back up. I feel like Van Zeeks will be on my side though if I start revealing that, you know, I'm about to blow the lid off of a giant case. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing.
I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zeeks.
This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem.
Stop being racist. What are you trying to say?
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place. Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. Pour my juice. I want my cranberry juice. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago immediately after the conclusion of his trial. Don't ask me how. A trial in which he was found not guilty, which I thought was bullshit. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact, which is also bullshit. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. The articles as upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
You know, that does make a rather lot of sense. It's not as if it was gold or jewels, is it? But goodness knows, Mr. McGilded was rich enough. He can't deposit cash at a pawnbrokery. I'm quite certain of that. The prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling.
It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have.
Ugh! Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that this box any way tangible way related to this case?
Well, yes, unfortunately.
What's the matter, Runo? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
Oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury. I would rather that Gina gets accused or gets sentenced for perjury over murder. Though that's like doing running a red or vehicular manslaughter. I'd rather get the ticket for running a red than being accused of fucking murder.
But Ginny,
could it be that Van Zeeks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Has he anticipated everything?
But maybe this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Runo? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Yeah. Alright, the exact significance of the things that McGill deposited with Mr. Windibank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here? Nope, have Gina testify. Having Gina testify is the right thing to do. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh? What proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, phrasing, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited at Windibank Smith by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It'll prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all.
Well, well,
Things are becoming interesting.
I'm having fun practicing drawing skills. Nice. I'm glad to hear that you're honing your craft. You're keeping up on that. Good on you for doing that.
I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, the impact it will have on the accused's standing, and indeed your own.
I have.
Lord Van Zieks, would you care to explain that last remark?
The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself.
Very well, if you have no objection.
Yeah, the fact he's like, I gotta put her in jail and fuck up McGilded? I'm in!
So the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. You witnesses currently stand may step down until further notice.
Then I should bid you good day.
Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies.
As you wish.
All right then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here.
Good luck, Runo.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fuck of a time here.
The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Winnipeg.
Apologies.
Bubble of air in my throat. Articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Winnipegg's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago.
Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well.
That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded.
The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here we all are again, the same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend.
Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along the London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there's only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged, that the murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilded died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
Yeah, that was wild as hell, honestly. A mystery that remains unsolved, even now, 2 months on. Don't worry about it. As indeed does the omnibus murder itself.
Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings.
Miss Lestrade? Would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean? I don't know what you mean. I said all of what I know. And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade. This is extremely important. But...
Remember, little girl. If it transpires that you willfully withheld the information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts. You have little credibility to lose.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose here, Gina. Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Runo now. Iris? We're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina.
Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it.
I must confess I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilden's pawned articles in that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbor secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements.
This is it then. Everything's gonna come out. Like Van Ziek said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. Yeah, but I might get my ass beat for this. Alright, let's see what she says.
Truth is, that brickmaker cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and the pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops. That's when McGilden slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I seen or heard.
Yeah.
Good grief, this is outrageous. What you just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago.
Yep. As you say, my lord.
Then there's every chance. I may have adjudicated an error in McGilden's trial. Sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes.
Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial, of this witness, and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable.
I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce. It was all lies. That McGilden fellow was rotten to the core. Just like that pickpocket. Don't forget that lawyer from the east. They were all in on it together. You're wrong, the lot of you. Mr. Narado, the lawyer, he didn't know nothing about it.
Humbug!
I don't think so. Or I don't think so. Are we really expected to believe that?
He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation, to get the man off scot-free.
Unforgivable, stop. The lies have to stop, stop.
Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. Off to the guillotine, off with his head. That's France. I don't think England ever used the guillotine. I might be wrong, but I think the guillotine was a very French thing to do. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGilden's pawned articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Oh. Given the depths of calamity you've just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Here's France. Yeah, British had different government punishment. I'm pretty sure they kept the gallows for quite a while when they had capital punishment.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord?
I'll decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord.
Blimey, Mr. Naruhodo.
Now, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
The real truth of the omnibus case. Is that Brickmaker Cove was in... I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to press you, Gina. You're gonna have to get pressed a bunch. Oof. And you were hiding in the cabin at the same time as well, weren't you, Miss Lestrade? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats.
Yeah, that's right. It's pitched back under there, so you can't see nothing at all.
Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGilden was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord.
That's what you told me I had to say.
But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilden and the victim acquaintances?
I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot.
What were they talking about?
Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. He kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
But anyway, it got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
And I believe you let out an involuntary scream?
Yeah. That's what gave me away.
Yep, press this. Because I have a feeling I'm waiting for Brayden to react. Was the disc you saw this disc?
Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It's right next to the cove line on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but Miss McGill picked up pretty smartish. And then he sat with the cove with the knife with the knife in his belly up on the seat.
What did he say to you at that time?
He told me not to say a word about what I seen or heard to no one, but the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me little questions, like what my name was and where I lived and that. Asked me about being a diver too.
After a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed?
Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise.
A rapid noise. Was then a scream from over my head, and the pair of roof deck went off to call the stops. There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe.
That's right. They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with a knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGildy got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Apologies, needs to hydrate a little. Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage had come to an halt, the two coves from the roof ran off to fetch the slops. If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident.
So that left McGilded, the driver, and you still at the scene.
Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open, and a voice from outside.
The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe. A fellow went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves.
What did McGilded and the driver say to each other?
I don't know what happened and stuff like that mainly. That's when McGill slipped the driver some tin to run to the pawn shop roundabout.
Keep pressing. That pawn shop obviously being Winnebank's on Baker Street.
Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me the driver gave false testimony in that trial as well?
Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind when he was in the stand.
Indeed, Lord Van Zeeks.
McGill took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up, all careful like, before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it's got to be worth a few bob.
Yes, Gina was sure the disc must be worth more than Mr. Winnebank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when Mr. McGill flashed some brass in his face. He went running off at a lick. And the bog trotter told me to come out from the drag's cabin.
Hold it! And press the threaten not to snitch. Threatened you how exactly?
Told me I'd only be able to stop it if I did exactly what he said.
Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago?
Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said.
Which was?
He told me I'd have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Well, I never.
Said that if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me for 2 months past, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in local, so it being forfeited. Left me with some brass to pay for it.
But really, why on earth would Mr. McGilder have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police makes no sense at all.
There seems to be only one logical explanation, my lord. What McGill had the driver deposit Winnebanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Oh.
Anyway, after that, you let me go, so I liked it before the coppers showed up.
Alright.
Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that.
Ginny's really put her faith in you, Runo.
Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once the trial's over. So we need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible.
Time to really go for it. Press her on every statement.
I suppose I should.
Oh, and another thing.
What's that?
Take a look at those two. Isn't it strange that they've been whispering to each other the entire time?
Yes, that is strange. Looks like they're having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Do I have any evidence that contradicts what she's saying? Because I have the omnibus birder case. And all of this is from the actual recent case. I wonder if I just press at any point and just decide to share any secrets of fish and chips pending. Okay, let's break into this. Excuse me. Something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon. Inspector, Mr. Graydon, I'm doing the logo pose. Wah! Blimey, you trying to give me a heart attack? You've been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about? Discussion? With this fella? Pull the other one, sunshine. You got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this?
I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine.
They've clearly been talking the entire time and cross-examining Gina. It's if they've been negotiating. Yeah, share food. Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
It would appear on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGilda took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. This is clearly extremely valuable in some way. Although I don't understand why yet.
And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilda's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited.
I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the cove died right after his trial. I knew that.
So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own.
Well, why not, eh? They're only going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking it ain't no crime.
Miss Lestrade, it would appear that Mr. McGilden was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
Eh? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He's probably going to sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime. She's right. She's absolutely right. And she's got a lot of money, and she's being given an opportunity to potentially get some more money. My lord. The evidence your lordship has requested has been located. It's ready for the court's inspection, sir. Yeah, let's see it. Serious mode. The mysterious little box deposited by McGilda 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that is a key piece in this far-reaching puzzle. To be continued. We're going into the final part, folks. We're almost there. We're almost through. Are we even allowed to eat while court's in session? Maybe. Possibly. I mean, in these courts, absolutely. These are fucking kangaroo courts. Like, yeah, courts in the Ace Attorney universe are
flimsy. So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited with the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilded 2 months ago. And on the night of Mr. Windibank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop.
Quick, let's open it and see what's inside.
Say, of course, basically non-existent here.
Yeah.
It's got a something spring... It's a music box. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. It's a Wow, although in truth, I had an inkling that might be the case. It's a music box.
It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement.
Then, is it too much to expect?
I think it would be reasonable to assume that it is a device for the playback of this disc, my lord.
We can actually play the disc. We can play the disc. So, here we have the means to play back Mr. McGilded's disc, deposited at Windibank's at much the same time.
Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilded's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus.
But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilded?
I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord.
Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last.
Wait, my lord!
Oh, this is... We're getting into the deep shit.
Good grief.
Oh, good grief. What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The music box and disc are, well, they're unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere of the courtroom with some silly bit of music.
This disc may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance that it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened.
The prosecution has no objection.
Yeah! Everyone in court's like, no, let it happen. Let it play. Let it play. Play that funky music, white boy.
But no! That piece of evidence is police property now. You can't... Clearly Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. But it's policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening.
Greg! Oh, yeah, they're in trouble. We're about to hear the sick beat that McGilly killed someone for. Yeah, no further delays, please. Play that disc. Play that 8-track tape. It's Morse code. This is Morse code. I can't tell you what it is, but this is absolutely Morse. What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in an irregular sequence. Juror 5, decode that code. Mr. Graydon?
This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken.
Broken? It can't be, can it? No, it's Morse code. I know it's Morse code.
Well, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. If the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom.
Yeah, he's a Morse code person too. Yeah, he knows what it says. He knows what it says. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept that this music box offers little in the way of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel?
Come on.
No. Yes, alright. It does sound as though it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? It could be a clue. I believe that it could be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how could it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it could have any meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree. But there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, the inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge.
If that's the stance of the defense, my Nipponese friend, answer me this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's dots and dashes. I can't translate it.
Yeah, just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case?
It's a message.
It's the defense's belief the sound emanating from this music box is
not supposed to be music. Yeah, this isn't music. It's a coded message.
Oh, Mystic, see, you study Morse.
Just because this is a music box doesn't necessarily mean the sounds we're hearing are music. Yeah, Graydon knows I figured it out. Look at that. Smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. The Morse, here's what it says. When I was a small boy. I believe, when I was a young boy, my father. Now we just need a GIF. We need a video of just the music box coming up, and then just going doon 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 doon. Yep, I'm on the right lines here. I must be.
Making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runo.
Objection!
The sounds we're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you've told us what they are not, I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend.
Well,
surely you have an idea in mind? Because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness.
They've got me. I don't know what the answer is. Yet.
Runo, I've just examined the music box very thoroughly, and I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all.
Really? Thank you.
Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway.
Thank you, Iris. Alright, well, if the music box isn't broken, must mean that the sounds it's producing have some significance that isn't musical. It's Morse code. I hate that I figured this out and I have to wait for the characters to. I think that's the one thing that's annoying me on this. But it's the curse of being a guy who just knows stuff, I suppose. Ah. Could it be... Is that what these sounds are?
Something just struck me, Runo. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes.
So have I. It's a familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by this music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is it, counsel?
All the evidence we've seen so far, all the testimony we've heard, stop pointing one single answer now.
The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese friend presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation.
Alright then. This will be the best chance I'm going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join it's going to connect the dots. I've connected the dots. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box is... Oh, I have to pick it out from here. Uh-oh. Because it's a Morse code message, so... Oh! Secrets being leaked to foreign agencies.
Take that!
Today's paper, counsel? The headline is Pawnbroker Perishes in Pick Purse Plunder. Hardly supportive of your cause.
Ah, no, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page.
Further down, Ministry Mole, classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, it's a very serious matter being investigated at the highest level, I understand.
I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries.
And presumably those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams?
Of course.
Juror number 5, your input, please.
Yeah.
Step. Me, sir? But it was the matter.
You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not?
Yes, that's correct.
And the particular station where you work,
Deals with government communications and newspaper reports. Oh, yes. We're not your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important.
Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound?
Hmm? You don't mean to say, is it...
That's right, madam. Bears more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. There, we're finally caught. They caught up to me.
I don't believe it.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there can be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Well, we're suggesting that Graydon's guilty of treason. McGilded and Graydon are guilty of fucking high treason to the British government, to the British crown. They are turbo dead. Even if he didn't kill Windibank, he is dead.
Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code?
It may not be stolen government secrets, but it's definitely stolen telegram. Order! Please, everyone, order! But this is high treason, Council, deserving of capital punishment. Yeah, like I said, this is high fucking treason. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? What is capital punishment? The sorts of words I'd have expected you to know. For our sovereign government's confidential information, hostile nations would surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus.
But in the end, McGilded perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery.
My word. In which case, whoever stole the information in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry. Because if the disc were to be discovered before it found its way out of the country, it would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbrokery illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? Yeah, you're host, dude.
You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous.
So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you?
Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer's been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir.
Prosecution. I love it. I love when prosecution and defense are on the same side in these games. It's beautiful.
The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense.
Yeah.
Delighted, I'm sure.
I can't wait to prove this guy's fucking bad. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. That being a most litigious offense, for which the law of this land sanctions a capital punishment. But the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. No, Dio is innocent. No, Ario guy who killed Speedwagon is definitely guilty as fuck. You know you're fucked up if you fucked up if both sides are working together. Yeah, it really is. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may...
Alright, you gotta let us have a rabbit and pork here, Governor. We got things to say.
Nash, what are you doing here again? I beg your pardon. Who do you think you are?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. We ain't baddies enough to sell out our motherland. That's right. We're what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers.
This is always great. Just come on. It's the goons.
Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing.
Alright, let's hear what you gotta say, Graydon.
A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information.
You could.
Besides, the sounds produced by the music box aren't even Morse code. You're some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGilded anyway, was it not? I've no relation to the man.
But
Look, all we done is break into the gaff the other night, what he told us to do. If we'd known there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it.
Hate the law of the other country. That's like fucking. That's the Joker. There was a Marvel DC crossover where Joker and Red Skull almost worked together until Red Skull proved that he was a Nazi, and Joker's like, "Hey, I may be a no good psycho criminal, but I'm an American first. Fuck you, Nazi." Granger's the pawn. There's a king on the chessboard. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going down here. The disheveled wig on the judge. Come on. Mr. Skulkin.
What Mr. Deuce, Governor? What's up?
Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question, you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? And moreover, you did so as a party of 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here?
Boom, boom, boom. We did, Gov, we did.
So we have proof. Quieten down, please. What do you say to that, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these 2 ruffians are referring to.
You little rotter, getting us mixed up in all this monkey business. Never said nothing about no government secrets. It's supposed to be a straight-up job. And what about the geezer shopper was, eh? Poor bloke didn't have to die, did he?
Ah. Nice to know who your friends are.
Whatever these men say, I deny the exact accusations.
Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings.
I did.
However, as it has, I'll admit it to the court record as evidence. Alright, now I'm going to quickly examine it before I do anything. Okay, examination first. This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it?
Yes, the movement. It's all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked by the passing bumps. Usually the teeth on the comb are different lengths, so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length.
Well, what does that mean?
It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. I've never seen a music box like it before.
Yes, it is strange. A music box that can only play a single note. There has to be some significance to that, surely. What's that?
Oh. What is it, Runo?
I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom of it opens up as well.
Ah, you're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it.
Alright then, here goes.
Look at that. There's another movement on the underside.
Oh. So does that mean you said another disc to play back on this side?
Yes, I think so. And it looks like the 2 movements are linked together.
They're linked?
So if you had 2 discs, they would both play back at the same time.
We need a second disc. We have proof. You thought there would be a second movement on the other side of the box.
This movement's just like the other one. Combs and teeth are all the same length.
So this movement also only produces a single tone, like the other one.
Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth on the 2 combs isn't the same. So a single tone produced by this movement will be different to the single tone we've already heard.
What?
Basically, each movement can only produce a single note. But the notes they produce are different.
A music box that can only play 2 tones.
Woo, okay.
I'm done playing around with it. They have to kill him twice to cover all the crimes. Yeah, he's gonna get double murder, or double deathed. Let's do some pressing. This is a pressing matter after all. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted?
How could I possibly know?
What do you mean by that?
Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information.
No, step. Say something. Step. Let me guess. Juror number 5.
We regular communications station officers aren't as low as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. Mr. Graydon is the team leader.
That's
Fascinating. Thank you, Journal Rev. Greetings, highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently presence of idol. Stop.
Oh, a little sparkle in her eye. So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon.
Well, what's of it? The transmissions are always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent in ciphered. No employees couldn't possibly understand them. No, step. Let's say something. Step. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he's received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now.
That's fascinating.
Greetings, highly skilled operator. Step. Currently presence of idol. Step.
You look at the sparkle in her eye. She's so excited to be here.
She's... Well, your idol would appreciate it if you keep your mouth shut.
She should really pick her idols more carefully.
I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded.
Alright. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code.
Hold it!
They're not?
To anyone with a brain, that would be blatantly apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds.
Oh, of course.
Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code.
Ouch. He looks genuinely shocked at my ignorance.
Haha. I'd be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir.
A lesson? Here in court?
Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones.
Tones, you say?
Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters.
I see.
For example, this is A. This is B.
Ah.
When you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you?
But it sounds so similar. Rhythm of it's the same in everything.
But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds.
What was noise?
So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code.
Really, you shouldn't be so surprised.
What did I tell you? That music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future.
Stop. Nothing to say, but stop.
Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Iris?
I mean, if the government secrets are somehow being leaked using the music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely.
Could this still be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box somehow to play back Morse code? Give it a try. You still have every possibility that this music box was instrumental in leaking your government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Government secrets leaked by Furby. Yeah, I mean, that's why Furbies are banned in the Pentagon.
Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum?
It's already been established that to be Morse code, 2 tones are required. Dots and dashes. Sorry, did that in the wrong voice. Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Then what?
Well, it would appear the defense has a hypothesis to put forward.
Oh.
You'd better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single tone, could have been used to cipher secret messages into Morse code?
Easy. Flip the bitch.
Oh, and it's going to go through this because... Yep, I've already done this. Yeah, it opens up. You're right. Come on then, what are you waiting for? Let's open it. Alright then, here it goes. Look at that. There's another movement on the other side. What does that mean? Yep.
Got it!
Got it, there we go. Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box?
What?
Oh. It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put 2 discs in this music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the court has heard, Morse code comprises of 2 tones, a short dot and a long dash.
With a second disc in place, this music box could be used to generate Morse code and convey a message. This is beyond a joke. I'm sorry? This poor excuse for a lawyer has absolutely no evidence to support his claims.
Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with his second disc, that would be another matter.
Well, I can't at the moment. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilded 2 months ago striking a deal over the disc or discs.
Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
Exactly. I had nothing whatsoever to do with it.
Oh. Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue.
The link between Graydon and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somewhere. But I haven't found it yet. Oh dear. It looks like you need to give your argument more strength, Bruno.
You'll reiterate your testimony if you please, Mr. Graydon.
If I must, though, I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this point in this cross-examination.
Some low-class brickmaker negotiating with the Gilded anyway, was it not? I have no relation to the man.
You don't? I feel like you might. The way you're saying that makes me feel like you might have a relation. Mason Milverton. We finally know his last name, Milverton. And you lived in the East End.
Hold it!
Now let's find this out. It's 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilded killed the brickmaker and stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seemed he lived in an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense, though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government information? How indeed. There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason, in order to take it to the meeting with McGilded and negotiate a deal. Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you, I have far more class than that. No brickmaker from Arson Court and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together.
If you have nothing more to add on that note, let us return to the witness testimony.
I feel like I should have evidence by this point. Because... No, that's not it, because that links the other case back together. Yeah, this... I don't think I have the evidence yet. So let's keep pressing. Like Mr. Green told you to do, you mean?
That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly me thought he was just popping over for a natter after all them years, but the water had a dodgy job for us. Eh, Ash?
Good. Let me stop you there, Mr. Skulkin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours?
I mean, we're the sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Graydon's an old China.
Excuse me.
Yeah, let's pursue that. Is something wrong, Mr. Skulkin?
Huh?
No, the other Mr. Skulkin.
What, who, me?
When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react.
Ah, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old laugh together way back when.
Together with Mr. Graydon, you mean?
Yeah, with Ash. I mean, you look at him now in his fancy whistle and flute, and you wouldn't Adam and Eve it. Or when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us.
Is that so?
But he was always... He's a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always come up with some smart ideas like what would never come
gone through our heads. God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh? Save it until after the trial. Reminiscing has no place in this courtroom.
It does. It super does. The name Milverton.
And neither does your fruit. Or, the geezer asked us a question, didn't he? And we was answering. Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong.
Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to the testimony, please?
I don't know. Could that Sentinel story be relevant somehow? Yeah, add it to the testimony. My lord.
Yes, counsel?
The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to this case. Mason was the third Skulkin brother? Yeah, I think Mason might have been the third Skulkin.
Very well, counsel. I'll permit the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add.
Say no more. Skulkin's never skulkin'.
Maybe the Skulkin brothers just bad at math. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. Those were the days. Yeah, this one, that's a red herring.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press Milverton and Skulkin's milk run. I'm sure gonna regret asking. But what exactly was that? Some kind of business?
Just a little scheme we had going back when we were youngsters. Bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about.
That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate. But on what? Business name. I want to know more about the business name. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? It was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved?
Yeah, that's it.
Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it?
Yeah, that's it.
And where did the Milverton part come from?
All right. I thought clever clogs like you would have worked out that one out. That's just...
Yep.
Enough of this. How much longer are we expected to listen to this drivel? I don't.
Let me guess. You don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Yeah. Fresh cheese milk. Yes, a fresh cheese milk delivery. Tell me, why is it only the mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject?
Because well...
They weren't the happiest of homes that one came from. Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked out on him. Sure could have named Graydon then, see? That should always be Milverton to us.
Milverton. So that used to be your surname, did it?
Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Do you think you could rely on the testimony of these two thieves,
You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Graydon!
Ah, well, it would appear that Mr. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable, for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct?
Very well, yes.
So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. That information could change things, and could turn out to be extremely important. It is. And then we change the court record. I now have a tie with him between him and Mason Milverton. All of a sudden, we seem to have our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of secret government messages is still just conjecture at this stage.
It would explain a number of things, though, wouldn't it? The negotiation Jenny overheard on the omnibus 2 months ago, and the break-in at Winterbanks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. Graydon in the omnibus with Mr. McGilded.
No, that was Mr. Mason. The brickmaker is so horribly murdered.
If only there was some link between the two men somehow.
I know. And Mr. Graydon's testimony seems to be as watertight as ever, except it's not, because I have it. I wonder if the key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. It is. I've already done it. You're just forcing me through the end portion. I have no relation to the man? Untrue. Mason Milverton, baby.
Objection!
Object.
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you try to hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Yeah.
Explain yourself, please, counsel.
I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand has been negotiating with McGilded.
Yes, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
That's right. Only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton.
Milverton? Dude, do you mean to say, saints alive?
Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? Ugh, I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you join the civil service. And it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records.
Grr. Yeah, just be honest here. We're gonna find out one way or another.
The truth is, you've been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it on to McGilded in collaboration with your father.
Ah,
Nice twirl, dude. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all come together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded.
by dint of this music box, you mean, counsel?
Yes, stealing information being sent in secret government communications and selling it on to McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using 2 music box discs to encode the information. As, presumably, a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands.
And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme any credence whatsoever.
But the deal with McGilded went sour, and the brickmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, you appeared at Windibanks 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by police, and the other you never found. Also, I just want to note here, all he had to do was go in there, not go after the code or the disc, get the music box that was on the shelf, buy it, and smash it. Because we already know music discs can't be listened to by just any music box. So get rid of the music box that can play the discs, and the discs become useless. It's an undecipherable message. Unless someone went and built another box. He went about this extremely poorly. Maybe the second disc was Gregson? Maybe. Or it could still be in the overcoat. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time determined to recover the second disc.
Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box?
Huh? We never knew nothing about that. On the night that Mr. Windibank was killed,
Whoop.
the intruder of the pawnbrokery touched one item and one item alone, the music box. Yeah.
As if rather ingeniously demonstrated by using the 2 prints from the security camera, indeed.
So the question that naturally begs answering is this. Why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious. Because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall in the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Yeah. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense. You don't have to accept it if it's... Everyone's literally staring you down, but like, dude, you don't have... Sir? There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. Oh. What? Ah. 2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Windibank's pawnbrokery. 1 took the life of the pawnbroker himself. 1 struck the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. and the final bullet struck the calendar on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm you seem to be trying to hide. It's a bullet wound, isn't it? Yep. He's got you know now, me old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon. Yep. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those are my terms, remember? And I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly, I was a fool to think I could trust some common-back slum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there in Winterbanks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. As you've noticed, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures.
So he missed that he was there.
But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets? Negotiating with Mr. McGilded?
He's trying to get out of treason, but he's still accused of murder.
As God is my witness, I sure recall nothing of the sort.
He's not going to go down without a fight. Not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. I don't need to get him on treason. I just need to get him on murder. It's still capital punishment. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact.
Which is?
Well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun hit the pouch around Mr. Sholmes' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Winterbank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm.
Indeed it must. We can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself.
Yep, which means Graydon, at least it's only one conclusion. Mr. Winterbank was shot by a 3rd gun, which can only have been fired by the 3rd intruder.
Goodness.
Ah! That's right, Mr. Graydon. Urgh. The only person who could possibly shot Mr. Winterbank that night is you.
Hold it!
Yeah, we pinned him.
You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I built for myself at the communications station.
Since read bomb.
But did the thought never cross your mind? Did you never consider the possibility?
What do you mean? What thought? What possibility?
The possibility that if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see...
Now he's going to make up a story. He's going to make up and say that Gina did it.
This makes me a key witness in this case, and I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client.
What?
Are you suggesting...
I saw it all. I saw the very moment that pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the poor defenseless pawnbroker and shot him.
Except... You... What? Yeah, he's trying to turn it around. He's absolutely just trying to turn the story around.
Order! Well, it would seem we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial.
We are, yeah.
Mr. Graydon.
Yes?
Yes.
So, like I told you, that means you have 0 credibility.
Yeah, like everyone's telling you. I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully.
Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. You'll explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim.
Nothing would give me greater pleasure.
All right. We're getting into it. Witness testimony. The moment of the shooting.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Winterbank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused, in a black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety.
That wouldn't make sense.
I saw the blood spatter all over that wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole.
She didn't.
So I picked it up and made my escape. You didn't, though. The gun was in her hand. There's so many flaws. There's so many holes in your fucking...
Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger.
Yeah, he's fleeing to safety. There's no other exit in the fucking room. He had already fled to safety. Why would she shoot him? He did not think any of this through. It wasn't my intention to testify in this way. But neither is it my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation.
The truth?
Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details.
Yes, well, sorry about that.
Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. Except it's not his blood. You said the blood spattered over the accused's coat. Are you sure on that point? Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time.
Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here.
Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord.
What?
I mean, I already have. I've already proven it. Yeah, the blood is the life. Fuck, I can... Yeah. Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. Like my chalice. So here's the true science, not some amateurish detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry. There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound.
Sholmes is German?
Sholmes is not. Ideas are no use to us here. In science as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. In Germany, the technique's already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has a small quantity of the chemical reagent used. With your lordship's permission...
Stop wasting your fucking juice.
We could shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes. This doesn't look good, Runo.
Why not?
Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat. If they test it with their chemicals...
Oh, help, you're right. I was forgetting what happened yesterday. Yeah, we know there's blood, but we know that it's... We know specifically that it's Mason's blood. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. Yeah, the luminol proved it. That's not Mr. Winnebake's blood. That stains from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he was stabbed by McGilded, who was wearing the coat at the time.
My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution.
Overruled. Lord Van Zeeks, make it so at once.
With pleasure, my lord.
And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with cross-examination. Once they find that blood on the overcoat, Gina will be in she'll be in doo-doo. Counsel.
Yes, my lord.
Your cross-examination.
Of course, my lord. If this cross-examination doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial.
And stop throwing your chalices out of the fire. There's so much broken glass over there.
Okay, I don't think I could even possibly get anything out of that.
Hold it!
I'm gonna press the sharp pain. You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the three men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went on to strike the calendar on the wall behind you. So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Of course it would be. Did Mr. Windibank intend to shoot you, do you think? Well now, I don't imagine he even noticed I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home. I pulled my gun on him, and he tried to shove me out the way. And then he scarpered through that door out back.
At which point, what did you do?
Yeah, see, that, theoretically, he could have. This, I'm interested. I want to see where you're saying, where was he fleeing to? Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. That was Mr. Winterbank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. Ah, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, a bullet from Winterbank's gun grazed my arm. And yes, Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was a third gun entirely. Fuck, no, it wasn't. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time. But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, counsel. Sorry? You must consider the events in order. Wait, what are you talking about? First I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other. But then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. It was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back. A chilling image, I must say. Yeah. Saw the blood spatter all over the wretched girl. And she tossed the gun at other people, so I picked it up and made my escape. So you stole evidence that proved that she did it. Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room? That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole onto the floor on my side of the door. But why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there, in case any more tragedies took place. I don't believe this for a second. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime? Yes, it was yours truly. So in other words, he's admitting that he has the murder weapon. I left the clear up to my lackeys and left. Clear up? We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flutie had told us to tidy up. He thinks he's our bloomin' mum sometimes. I was paying you enough, by God. Ah. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? You're like a bullet at gate, aren't you? Yep.
Excuse me.
Gotta pursue that. Gentlemen. Breathing. What are they doing? Something wrong, sunshine? That should be my line. Do you realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin? Blimey, this dude's a bit of an hooligan, ain't he? What was going on just now? You saw him. He grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the third gun when we got down to the station? And why didn't you? 'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Or that flaming people in the door. Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you? Go, blimey, see the way he's looking at me. I'm telling you, this D gives me the willies. That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He would normally grab someone. No, that wasn't like Gregsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. Yeah, grab. What's your feeling, Bruno? As much as I hate to admit it, I don't see any obvious holes in his testimony at the moment. You have to find a way to break this man. And quickly, too, because once they discover the blood on the overcoat Gina was wearing... It's a bit strange that he's so sure of himself about seeing the blood spatter over Ginny's coat. Doesn't strike me as the sort of thing you'd claim if you hadn't genuinely seen it happen. We know that Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank, so what's going on? All I know is that it's very unfair. Why should some German scientist test be acceptable as evidence when mine and Hurley's wasn't? Detectives can use test tubes too. Never mind that. I have to find a really stark inconsistency in this testimony somewhere. I have to find it before the prosecution discovers the bloodstain on Gina's coat. I did that. I'm gonna pause because I have an idea. I'm gonna save because I have an idea. It's like, where would he flee to safety?
Objection!
Nope, that wasn't it. Okay. Let's figure this out. What?
Hold it!
Yeah, I'm gonna try this again. Because I thought... Yeah, because I feel like... You feel like pursuing should have worked differently here. Oh. Maybe there's nothing of the sort. Okay. After all, you can't even show the court such a disc exists, can you? And as expected. He won't admit to anything unless I can trust the evidence in his face. It's not as easy as you thought, is it? To pin a crime on this lapel. You won't stick. Not murder, not treason. Maybe not right now, but you won't be sniggering like that forever. I'm just feeling right now, and yeah, it's gonna go through this again, because... Alright, let's just start pressing everything then. Let's figure this out. Mr. Winnebank emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close. I've never been so scared in all my life. Yeah, we're just your regular mild-mannered burglars, that's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carry a gun. What do you mean when you say you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1, so I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me little bruv, but the old geezer chucked me over the blooming counter. So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scarper.
The pair of you settling upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together? Shame on you.
Sorry, Gov.
So you press that. Okay, we'll press everything again. Yep, this all happened. Gunshot, yep. Yep, doing the back stuff, okay.
Yeah, you pursued him. You mean you chased after him? There we go. I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. What about this peephole in the door you mentioned? Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom door is a solid job. It is stout wood. But there's a small opening in about head height that lets you see what's in there from the outside. Actually, I do remember. I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. Yeah, I saw Gina, who did nothing wrong. And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well? Not likely, Gov. Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov. I doubt these superfoons were even aware of the peephole's existence. So the Skulker brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winterbank take place, allegedly. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and the young girl standing there.
The defendant?
Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man.
And then, what did you see next?
And I've already done that. I don't think I haven't pressed this one yet. All over her? Yes, through the peephole. I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now, what with the coat being such dark color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood. Well, it is sullied with blood, that's for sure. But it's not Mr. Winterbank's blood, is it? No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when Gilded stabbed him 2 months ago. So annoying. If only they accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that. But they won't, so unfortunately we can't use it as evidence to support our case. Yeah, bother. My lord. Nope, it's here.
Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer.
I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
Ah, the blood on the accused overcoat. Not in the bottle.
Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord. I have some objection, but you're not going to let me fucking object properly.
Well, there you have it. The report, please, Inspector.
Yes,
Sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of spattering following a gunshot wound. End of report.
Goodness me.
Except they weren't. They were spattering from a fucking stab. Wish they could identify whose blood. I can. I have. See? What did I tell you?
Objection.
No, the blood on that coat is not Mr. Winterbank's.
What on earth makes you say that, counsel?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Winterbank's, McGilded had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend?
Sorry.
2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for McGilded's innocence? And yet, now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer?
Yeah, of course I do.
Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country.
Ah, but that was...
I call it a bally disgrace. Treachery, that's what it is.
How to determine whether the blood on that coat is 2 months old or not? Even the stereoscope couldn't help to answer that problem pop out. It can't be done.
But... Use Mr. Sholmes' specially formulated chemicals.
Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist.
Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer?
They held out Borowski to Starving Boy, and he ran away crying.
What?
Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all.
Oh yeah, those two haven't met yet. How can you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused's coat was spattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid, and the conclusion is singular. It is the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
It is not.
My lord, been a long battle this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please.
Mr. Foreman?
Where's Sherlock, the person in the courtroom? I don't know. I thought you would have popped in by now. As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now. Sir!
Guilty.
Guilty.
No! Stop it!
Guilty.
You're so rude.
Guilty.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Guilty.
Stop!
Guilty.
No! Niet.
Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict.
Yeah. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the juror's decision being equally unsuccessful.
No! I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how's it all unraveling on me so fast? Ugh.
Poppycock. How very distressing to be held in such low self-esteem, such low esteem. When you agree, Mr. Naruhodo.
Officer? You deliver the report now. That'll be all, thank you.
It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? The fake stash. Mr. Sholmes!
What is the meaning of this?
Look at that sassy bastard. He's here.
Sholmes! Order!
Hey, McWigglestick, how's it going? Hope you're having a great time. What business do you have here, detective? Last I heard you were recuperating in hospital. As well I will be, had I not been sent upon an errand. What errand?
Hurley, it's really you. You're awake at last.
Wonder if I'll be arrested for impersonating a cop. Yeah, he's getting in trouble for this. Yes, g'day, Iris. Appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you'll humour me.
In what manner, sir?
I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time?
What say you to this, Lord Van Zeeks?
This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already.
Exactly. Having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time.
Never forget, Sesame Street gave Elmo an arc where he had a beef with a rock star he crashed out in front of Zoe. Oh yeah, because he's like, no, Rocky isn't real. Rocky's a rock. I remember that. As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Eh? Very well then. Counsel, you have 5 minutes.
Yep, get that 5-minute recess in. My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. Sorry? I only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me should I pass out. Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hurley, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah, well, that concoction of mine is really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. Never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part. Right. Modesty? Surely not. That's 5 minutes spent forward dressing and posing. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. What's that? Lavender frochy wrapping? A leaving present for Mrs. Otto. For Mrs. Otto? If possible, matters will be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor. I don't understand. Mrs. Otto foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand. Lunchtime's good right now. I know, right, Dave? Speaking of which, don't worry, I'm gonna be wrapping up. I'm wrapping up this case, and then I'm wrapping up stream for a lunch-based object. And that you, Mr. Naruto, fighting fairly as you all want to do, will find yourself in considerable peril. At the very moment of crisis, you would be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions. A leaving present from Suzato-san. Whatever could it be? What is this? Oh, it's the machine I made. Ah. Is Suzato stole the second disc? Entirely possible. Meow. Look, I used this. It's my latest invention. What is it? This is out of second disc. Entirely possible, but not probable. I call it the cat flapper-mat. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. What's Susie up to? Mrs. Otto muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? Didn't she say something like that? Really the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. Yeah. Remember what that tool does? Meow, are you a cat? Yeah, the cat flapper-mat? I'm sorry to say. That I've been a complete failure. Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? At night, when you left Winterbanks in pursuit of the thieves, Mrs. Otto made use of this contraption for a certain purpose. As your answer, dear fellow. No, not at all cryptic then. Mrs. Otto used the cat flapper-mat that night? But why? The cat flapper-mat has been added to the court record. It can make peepholes. Oh. That it can. Your 5 minutes is over. We're out of time already. Uh-oh. Well, let's make it work. I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? It can make peepholes. The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me. I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end. Badly. Yeah, I want to cross-examine more. I want to chit-chat more. Summation examination is not going to get me anywhere. Further cross-examination.
Objection!
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now. The defense is not asking for a cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue with one of an existing witness. What? It would appear that rather important details escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord. Yeah, to interrupt the cross-examination. Yeah, the cross-examination never ended. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. Yeah. Do you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord? Yeah. So nobody could say anything then. Bruno asks to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon.
The court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd! I must hold my titty.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request a continuation of this cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. One shot, one opportunity, Mom Spaghetti. Let's do it. You must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it.
Yep. A single chance to present evidence. We have one.
If following that the situation remains unchanged, I will move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further.
My lord.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruto, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I'll leave this in your capable hands.
Thud. Mr. Sholmes! To stand so incessantly before the court in a state of such high fever, either man has extraordinary strength of mind or extraordinary lack of feeling.
I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
Strike a man when he's down, why don't you?
Well then, counsel, are you fully prepared?
Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down, or Iris. I won't waste this final chance Zazen has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial. It's make a great book. Yeah, it's both.
Very well then. Very well then. Under the terms I've outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
Alright, I have a feeling I know exactly what to do here.
The moment is shooting again.
Because I think I know what we need to prove. Because it can make peepholes. I think you're right, Miss XD. I bet you're right. Because if we look at the picture prior to the crime, I don't see a peephole up there. But I see it after. There's another difference in the photo. Up on the door. There was no peephole prior to the event. Seen through the peephole in the door, though. This made a peephole.
What on earth is that eccentric contraption, counsel?
Ooh, it's my cat Flappermat, my lord. Makes way for cats to get in and out of a room. You can cut through any door you can think of, and make a new little door in the middle of it. That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please, without their owners having to open the main door. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves. Ah. But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to this case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there's no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door.
Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I failed to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? A peephole, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winnebank had taken place.
That's right. According to the paperwork of the yard, it was you, your Japanese assistant, and Sholmes.
Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at the time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that. Because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked storeroom. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed the crime, for pity's sake? Yes. How could you? What?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Alright, it's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the people in the storeroom door. Until such time as she did, the door had no hole to look through. Well, no!
Objection!
This is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the people in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions? That's the most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes I had left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Yeah, riddled with... Explain yourself, counsel.
The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based on what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl's shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident, that peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies.
Yeah, we got him. Order. Is there any credence in this revelation?
Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize. Exactly, this is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me. I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything could cut through a solid wooden door? Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors, says Graydon's pants on fire.
Yeah, he's toast. Also, liar, I recognize that, but he's fucking toast.
That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second. I had a feeling you'd say that. What? Waggy, cooey, time for dinner.
They cat flapped the court door.
Meow. Well.
Young lady, this is the Old Bailey. What does all my cat flaps in the oak paneling of the Old Bailey? Meow.
I'm not done yet, don't worry. This doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom door window was made by your machine. There's no way you can prove that it was. No, but it's easy. What? The cat flaps my creates are all of a fixed size, and the dimensions of this peephole window banks are an exact match. Ugh. Old Silky's lost for words. Excellent work, Iris. Thank you. And now it's my learned student's friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. Oh? I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your Eastern Island home. Well, yes, that's true. And you may have some difficulty establishing all of the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume that peephole in dimension has the dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the peephole cut? The prosecution demands proof of your answer. I have it.
What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Van Zieks?
It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the peephole was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator's returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There's no proof. Ugh, there is. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claim amounts to nothing more than a baseless accusation.
What? Fuck you. I'm gonna evidence the shit out of you. Indeed, that is so, Lord Van Zieks. All counsel?
Don't give up now, Runo. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Suzuda-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world. Remember permission to throw close the rotten garlic at Van Zieks? Do it. Very well. Counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Proof that the people in the door of the Winterbank storeroom was created after the event and not before. I have proof. I was just showing you guys the proof.
Take that!
This photograph has the proof.
What are you... A print for the detective's infernal cameras again? Yeah, you gave me this evidence. My judicial assistant, Mrs. Sato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof.
And necessary proof is this photographic print, Counsel?
Oh. This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premises. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielded a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This is really quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description.
Ah, Mr. Graydon. Yep, you couldn't possibly witness the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. Ugh. In other words, your testimony is a catalog of lies. I've proved it. Ah! What a spin. What a twirly bastard. I'm almost done. We're almost here, guys. We've got him on the ropes.
I am satisfied that the defense has substantiated his claim beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness's testimony was entirely fallacious.
Yep, it absolutely was. That's not the only thing we now know beyond all reasonable doubt. Permission to set Mr. Graydon on fire? I don't think you'll need to. I think he's going to suffer way worse. My learned friend's assistance guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. But more importantly...
Good lord, there's more, Lord Van Zeeks?
The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But there's no proof that this man is the victim's killer. Yes, that's right. What? I was there at the scene. It's true. And I was shot in the arm. It's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh, please.
No! Yeah, I don't believe this. But they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he's the culprit. Still, he can't worm his way out of it now. Iris, you know what they say. There's no point in locking the cat's door after the cat is bolted. Isn't that right, Runo? As Hurley always says, one lie begets another. No, wait. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories. Yep. Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense. Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark?
Cheers, I'll drink to that, bro.
Yeah. What you said in your testimony. Hey, Phoenix, well, thanks for the hydrate. Reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements. What?
Objection!
Oh, and the stretch. Thank you for the stretch as well, Phoenix. It's appreciated. This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency. Iris is right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witness's statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something that he shouldn't have known anything about. Namely, he shouldn't have known about bloodstains on a coat. The bloodstains that were present on Mr. Sled's coat. Yeah, how could you have known that? That's right, the victim's blood spattered all over her when she shot him. But how would you possibly have known that? Obviously, because I saw her do it through the peephole in the... You realized where you fucked up, didn't you? The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that's so revealing. You're not making any sense. Then let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door? What? Well, obviously, Yeah, it was made after you left. Has the cat got your tongue, witness? Peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred, and once I returned to the shop having failed to catch the 2 burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windibanks constantly carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pawned articles, and my lads have to thoroughly examine them all. So I give the order to have officers working around the clock in shifts so we get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop.
Oh.
Therefore, you should have known nothing about the people in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
Yeah. And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door.
How on earth is that possible?
Could I have a word, please, Lord Van Zeeks? Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put it in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you...
Permission denied.
Oh.
Yeah, this is,
It's not all the same to me, Inspector.
not to me, Inspector, not at all. You remain exactly where you are till this trial concludes. Yep. Gregson.
Of course, sir.
Yeah, Gregson, you're fucked. Mr. Graydon. You shouldn't have known about the existence of that people. It should only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Yeah. Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications. Yes, but the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And, in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's only one person it could be. There's only one person who told Graydon. Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony? Only one person could have done it. Only one. The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Huh? Me?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend. Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume that he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position, that he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information? So that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin? Exactly. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a bloomin' outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigations to this fella, huh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that? Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, but such illicit discussions couldn't have possibly occurred. Except they did. Ooh, I've just remembered something, Bruno. Where is it, Iris? There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying. Oh yes, now that you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilda's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it. It was during that testimony. Yeah, they were nattering. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Graydon and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. Yeah, it would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You little toe rag. You're making all this up. I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would I be giving away confidential details to the likes of this bloke?
Yeah. Admittedly, you wouldn't have had any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind, and it starts to make more sense.
Huh. What deal, Counsel?
I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the people of the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
Huh.
Yep.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that, if found this to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance.
Well, what I...
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty.
I don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence? I have evidence.
As what are you proposing the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see this proof of this alleged deal.
I have it. Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon. Then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. And that must be it. Bruno, do you think it could be?
Yes.
It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
Most press you for an answer now, Counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that this Gregson made with the witness?
There's only one thing that these two have that they'd want to fight over.
Take that!
It's the box disc. Inspector Gregson, besides this murder, is it not true that you've been working on another very important case?
What? What are you getting at now, Sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice?
How in the bleeding Nora could you...
We discovered, during the course of this trial, a music box deposited at Windibanks by Magnus Begilded. A special music box designed to play two discs at once. It seemed very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in Begilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made this deal with Mr. Graydon in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case.
You little... Ah!
Yep, he's a dirty cop. ACAB, baby. I stand by it. Fucking ACAB.
Order!
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windibanks, you said this.
I'll be taking that whatever it is McGilder's down to the yard, thank you very much. So I hand it over.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Scotland Yard already knew that at that time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilder was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were, recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush. That explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information. Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't that sure of it myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all.
Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness, to aid and abet this man in giving false testimony.
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
Yep. Noga!
Objection!
If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room? How can you possibly make a claim like that?
Because Inspector Gregson's a Scotland Yard detective.
What?
What's that supposed to mean, huh? As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious, then you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc on his person?
The defense demands that the inspector searched it once.
Definitely.
could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Craigsy hasn't moved from the witness stand since. My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector?
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He's insulted me in my profession quite enough. Wait, what? However, if I'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search. What? He's gonna agree to it? I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you now cheated my learned student friend. You made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service, this trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded. That sounds serious.
Indeed, to have a visiting student make such defamatory remarks about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Reno because you're scared.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
Okay. It's true. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. This must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, Counsel. You know the implications. So let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord. Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects? No, I think he swapped hands again. Swapped hands again. Yes, the defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well,
don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
fair enough. I've got nothing to hide.
Did I hit the right thing? I said search someone else.
Very well, then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's personal effects, please.
Pap! Defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson.
What? Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
No, Inspector. Not you. Somebody else.
What's me, Wallace, eh? Lost at last, have you, sunshine? Of course you don't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you.
Wait, what?
Reno's doing what you all told him to do and having the courage of his convictions. So you should just respect that and just listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Yeah. Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction, and eagerly waits his next words.
What? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure I know who has that disc at the moment. There's only one person it can be.
Counsel, of whom do you request this search now?
Take that!
There was another hand swap. Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never.
Eh? Blimey. Me? Him?
Very well, then. Bailiff, restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Please, my lord.
Inspector?
Scotland Yard, I still object to the search.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. Huh? In this courtroom, only the prosecution and defense have the authority to object. But Lord Van Zeeks, I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial. Ugh.
Yep. Bailiff, carry out the search. Let's do this.
Now, hold on a mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no disc. Now cut it out.
Yep.
Ah, here, my lord. In the witness's pocket. I found this.
Good lord, that's...
We found it. Second disc.
I don't know nothing about it. Nothing.
Yep. Womp womp, Nash. That is the second music book disc defined by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson? Ugh!
Order. Mr. Skulkin, what do you have to say for yourself?
Gordon Bennett. I mean, just Gordon Flamin' Bennett. Swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain exactly what's going on here? The alleged deal is struck between this witness and this detective, no?
Without question, my lord.
Then for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely could lose his composure. But one particular point in his trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior?
It was, yes, during my cross-examination, Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbroker that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? I meant to nothing of the sort. And in the meantime... While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently. Yeah, he did and all. Thought me no-go was gonna fall clean off, I did. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother, I was. What exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that? I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me whistle again and started shaking me. Well, the places you mentioned the third girl when we got down the station. That's what he said. Got it right down my ear hole, he did. Yeah, it's still throbbing now. The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for him to override the desk.
Well, bless my wig, he hit it?
You.
I'm afraid I fail to comprehend the motive here. The detective acquired the disc he was after. Why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector is not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
I hate to do this. We're getting so close to the end here. But I have to cut stream, and I will come back to this. I will come back to this later this afternoon. How about that? I very much apologize. I will get there'll be an extra short stream at the end of this. I do unfortunately have another thing I gotta do. I'm gonna save the game here. I'll be back later today. I will get the VODs up for both later today. I'm so sorry, because I'm just realizing what time it is. I will be there, like, in a few hours. It'll probably be, like, there's, like, another 20 minutes of cutscenes. Unfortunately, it will be, like, I do have a place to be. In the meantime, thank you all so much. I'm going to do a quick end here. I'll be back on for a little bit this evening, probably. We'll do that, and then it'll just be like a quick little thing, or I'll record it, most likely. And I'll get it up on the VOD channel. But thank you all so much for stopping by. We got to the end. We know who did it. Quite simply, it is Gregson. Gregson and Graydon are the bad guys. We have it all figured out. Hope you don't sleep over it. And if you do, I'll have the VOD up probably later today. But thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all very, very much. And I'll be seeing you guys again. If not later today, I'll try to either record or stream it, the actual true ending here. If you don't see me later today, you'll be seeing me tomorrow with Wazzy when she's starting Crewvember. But in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you again soon.